Awesome day to you, awesome people, and welcome to another week of What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. My name is Shanrika. I am your global empowerment connector. Thank you for joining us today. If you're on Facebook, hit the like, share, drop some comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We talk to people from all over the world. We have viewers from all over the world, so you never know who you may be able to connect with. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you can be alerted for future shows, and you can always go back and look at previous shows that are there as well. But thank you so much for taking the time out to join us and share in the awesomeness of my guest. What's Your Story is brought to you every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Say Something Facebook and Say Something YouTube pages. You can always find it on my personal page as well, but you could definitely find it on the Say Something YouTube and Facebook pages. Show some love to the pages, while you're here, and also show some love to my guest. Be sure to follow her Facebook page. You need the services. There's her telephone number. And, email as well, but make sure you follow her and tap into the great things that she's doing and the great things that she has going on. But What's Your Story is brought to you today by Carolina's Best Financial. If you're in need of tax assistance, if you have questions throughout the year about taxes, if you still need to file taxes even though the deadline has passed, reach out to Stephanie. She's at Carolina's Best Financial. You can check her out on Facebook, or you can email her, stephanie.carolinasbest@gmail.com. So she will be more than happy to assist you. Also, check out Kids Love Money, and it's a website. Well, it's a website, but what it is an interactive workbook series that teaches children financial literacy, one concept at a time. Check that out at kidslovemoney.shop. Also, go to the Say Something website and check out Googoji. It is the official retailer for the Googoji brand, which is an acronym for Get Up, Get Out, and Get It. We all have that it, but we don't always feel motivated. So this is a motivator. This is a reminder that you have things to do. And, it helps me, and hopefully it gives you the strength to spark something in you to get up, get out, and get it. So check that out at saysomething.company.site. And last but not least, you have a morning ritual. You drink coffee, tea, or even throughout the day. But however, you're going to drink something at some point. Why not add motivation to that? So check out sipsomething.company.site for your motivational mugs. And shout out to all the sponsors, and thank you again for joining us. We appreciate it. You could have been looking at anything, doing anything, but you decided to grace us with your presence. We hope you find value in this episode. Is going to be another awesome one. We come here to share, empower, heal, and inspire. That's what we do. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. But before I bring on my beautiful guest, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with you. Welcome back, awesome people. And again, if you're just tuning in, thank you so much for joining us on What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. My name's Shanrika. I'm your global empowerment connector, and as I do every Wednesday, I bring you awesome resources in your community or in a community somewhere that's doing awesome things that you may be able to connect with in some way, or you may be able to tell somebody else about what they have going on if you know it fits someone else's situation. But I'm going to bring on this beautiful lady. She's here to help us all get our life right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Milicent. Awesome day to you, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for, agreeing to share your awesomeness with us all here today. I appreciate you very, very much taking the time out to be here.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It means a lot.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. But just kind of let you know how I came up with the, name or the premise behind What's Your Story is used to be back in the days there was a saying or a question when someone met someone new, they would be like, okay, so what's your story? And the gist of it is for the person to tell enough about themselves to interest the other party so that way they would ask for more information. So what's your story is it's the same thing. It's that sneak peek into Coach Milicent, who she is, what she does, how she can help you get yourself together, all of that great stuff. And then from there, hey, they go into, reaching out and whatever it is that they need that you got, hey, that's that opens the door to that. But yeah, I'm not gonna take up the floor. I'm gonna let you have the floor and let people know what's your story.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm Coach Milicent. I am the owner and master life coach of Breakthrough with Empowerment LLC Life and Wellness Coaching. Um, and I'm just an everyday average woman that dealt with life, um, from mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, and didn't have an outlet. It got to the point where just decided one day I can't do this anymore. I don't want to live my life in this dark cloud anymore. How do I get out? And so I self-taught myself how to heal from the inside out. And it was a hard process. It took prayer, tears, a whole lot of prayer, a whole lot of tears, some more prayers and tears. But I eventually started to come out and able to identify those things that were traumatizing to me and able to be able to learn how to heal myself, to be able to let go so that I could live and thrive in life without being in a depression state at all times. Side note, I recommend don't do this by yourself. It's not for the weak. And I was a very weak individual, but I did it. I had a
You made it
support
through.
system. Yeah, I made it through. You know, it was just certain key components in life that showed me that's your lesson, use it and grow from it.
Right.
So, and I'm here. Um, and I just want to be able to help the next person be able to see that, your life doesn't have to be like that. There is a better side to life, and let me help you get through it.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, um, a lot of us think it's normal, because in our community, we don't really talk about, you know, mental abuse and mental health.
Oh yeah.
And that's very key. We have to deal with those things in life because if we don't, then we pass it on to our kids, and then it becomes a generational curse.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
so I'm looking into helping break those generational curses, trying to create generational love and wealth for families versus the curses.
Oh yeah, and that's important. That's definitely important because we been doing that for years. So it is time to do something different. That's gonna bring us a better result. And and just going back to you saying you healing yourself, because we were all given that ability, that power to heal ourselves. But you also said, you wouldn't recommend doing it by yourself, which is great too, because I feel like, anything outside of ourselves are tools or resources.
Mhm.
We may want to do something, but a lot of times we may not recognize, what the issue is, or see that we have a problem, I guess you would say, So having, someone on the outside help with that, then, it helps us to realize and not just realize it, but it, be able to, especially you having been through, may not be the same situation exactly, but it's nonetheless, it's a, whatever, a situation.
Right.
So, you're able to provide solutions to help them get out of that, get out of, whatever it is, that state that they're constantly in. But, and this is crazy because I think my last couple of shows have actually been on self-care, and in reality, it's all self-care, no matter what aspect of our lives we're dealing with. It's all self-care. But so you went through, you got through, you were able to heal. Now you're helping other people. So what made you come up with the name Breakthrough with Empowerment? I love the name, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. I've always been so my true inspiration is I seen a tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was a lioness, like trying to break out of a cage. And for some reason that stuck with me.
Wow.
It kind of stuck with me. So when I was sitting here thinking about names, and I'm like, you got to break away, you got to break out, and I was just like, we're going to break through it. And when we get out of it, we're going to be empowered.
Wow.
That's honestly how it came about, off of a picture of a tattoo that just kind of stuck with me since I was saying in my 20s, so it resonated. So that's how I came up with Breakthrough with Empowerment. Because at the end of the day, I'm just here to help empower.
Yes.
In whatever aspect of life. A lot of times we don't find the harmony within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to be in balance with life, you have to be in harmony or in balance with self.
Right.
Which means all components of your life, your finances, your relationships, your family, your religious, spiritual component, everything has to be in harmony and balance in order for you to be at one with yourself. So whatever that looks like for you, so I just really, just took that time to hone in and figure out what it was that made me who I am. And I take those tools and I use them, on my clients, because you're right. It's all about self-care, but at the same time, you have to heal. You have to be able to accept who you are, what you are. And then my quote is, and be the best version of yourself that day. And the next day, be a better version of what you were the day before.
Oh, yeah, because it's a process, right?
It's a process, and you have to find people that support you. You have to find you a circle of individuals that are willing to support you no matter what it is you're going through. They have to be truthfully honest, and you have to be willing to accept the truth, because the truth is going to hurt, and it's going to break you down, and it's going to cause you to have to rebuild yourself. But if you don't identify those issues, it's just like a revolving circle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're just going to keep going through the same things. So what if a person doesn't have like that support system around them? So this is where you would come in.
This is where we come in. And I don't see myself as just a life coach. I see myself as a life friend. Because you establish relationships with each other, because you're learning intimate details about each other.
Right.
You're very vulnerable. And a lot of people have a problem with being vulnerable with strangers. So I like to establish a relationship so that you feel comfortable enough to, just talk to me about whatever it is. One day we may talk about relationships. The next day, you may decide that you want to talk about, your job. The next day you want to talk about how your family getting on your nerves, So, we're going to go through that process, but each process is a step of healing, because you're identifying your triggers.
Right.
Identifying those limited beliefs that as coming up, we didn't realize what they were. People telling you, oh, you ugly, you stupid, you this, you that, you not going to be this. Nobody ever knew that those words
would have an effect
on you as you're growing up.
Yeah.
So, I that was one of the things that I had to learn how to deal with. I just woke up one day and said, I'm just ready to live. I'm tired of being this person. I want to live. I want to enjoy life. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to take that. Nobody will ever love you because you have kids. Nobody will ever hire you, in a corporate job. You never amount. I had to take those things that were told to me
Mm-hmm.
and take them and turn them into positive
Oh yeah.
beliefs. You
Mm-hmm.
know. So yeah, now I do have a husband that loves me and my children and my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a job. I own my own business. I am me, and
Yeah.
it's all doable. We just have to learn how to break away from those limitations that people put over us, or that sometimes we even put on ourselves, you know, because we have a tendency to down ourselves because we don't look like they tell us we're supposed to look like.
Right. We're going off of what society and everybody else thinks something should be. So we're kind of giving in to that instead of what we think it should be or how we feel about it, basically.
Exactly.
Wow, that yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I guess they say, it's kind of like how comparison, to other people and other situations is what, and I guess that is what brings about the limited thoughts, because that's what brings on depression for a lot of people is
Hmm.
comparing ourselves to other people. But okay, so for someone who says, okay, well, Millie, I ain't gonna say Millie, but they might. But they
It's
say,
okay.
listen, I'm trying to, get on track. I just need some help. I just keep, I don't know what's happening. Everything's just going bad. Like, where would you start with them?
So I just do a basic, what I call a life assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just ask questions. I identify to me what you feel your number one problem is. And once we identify that number one problem, I need for you to tell me what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like.
Mm-hmm.
I create a picture. And then once we create that picture, then we begin to dissect that picture piece by piece until we change the makeup and the dynamic of the picture.
Mm.
And then I ask you to tell me, if you had some fairy dust or a magic wand in 6 months, what would your perfect world look like?
Mm.
And then we take what your perfect world would look like. And it may take us longer than 6 months, but we start replacing the old picture
Mm.
with pieces of the new picture.
Wow.
And
I,
we work through how to get there.
hmm. See, well, hey, y'all see it for yourself. So, um, you need a guide on this thing called life. You're trying to get back on track or get on track or just work through some things. Then she is definitely a resource available. Because nobody has it figured out. We just all it's a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? This is a
Yes.
work in progress for everyone, and it's different levels. So we get to a level and then, we might get stumped. It might be some stuff that we go through over and over and over. But, sometimes we need, and a lot of times, we do need help. Somebody else on the outside that's not in the situation to, you know, help us get out of that hole that we're digging ourselves in, because we keep continually going through it. We're definitely digging ourselves into a hole
Mm-hmm.
um, with it. But do you offer like consultations, like free consultations, or how does that work?
Yes, so I do offer a free consultation. I call them a clarity call. And basically, I get to know you a little bit, you get to know me a little bit to see if we're a match.
Mm-hmm.
Because I may not be for everybody.
Right.
And honestly, every client may not be for me.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to, make it, I'm just a life coach. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. Sometimes you have to have those with you as well, as long,
Oh, yeah.
with me, it's a package deal. But yes, I do offer free clarity calls. They normally last about 60 minutes. And that just gives us time to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then once we, establish a relationship or a friendship, then I have packages. I offer a 2 session package, which is $297.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I have a 3 month and a 6 month. And for those that want to continue, then I also offer
Okay.
a year long
Okay.
package. Hmm.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So will you be doing like any workshops in the future for, people, just like maybe something group related, maybe tips on, doing things, or something of that nature? Is that something that you're thinking about now, or you might even off now, or will be upcoming?
Yeah, so I do have a workshop in the works, and it's focusing on 3 tips of your emotional intelligence.
Hmm.
There is an electronic ebook coming out pretty soon. So follow me on Facebook for that.
Oh yeah.
Um, so there will be some workshops coming out, and I'm open to doing speakings. So
Hmm.
if you want to have an event and you need somebody to come and speak about, I'm a speaker as well, so I'm more than glad to do that. Um, I also deal with children
Hmm.
as well. And I know that's a question about a lot of parents. But one thing I do say, stop asking children what their goals are and ask them what their dreams are.
Yeah.
Let's take the dream,
And break it
manifest
down
it,
into goals.
and turn it into a goal. And
Right.
as adults as well,
Yeah.
we set goals for ourselves, but is the goal really our dream? Is it really our passion? Is it really what we want to do in life?
Hmm.
So that's one thing I always say. I'm not worried about your goals. Let's talk about your dreams. And then from your dreams we can go from there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Looking at the big picture, and being able to break it down, because a lot of times we just look at it, because I know I am guilty of that. Now I like detail. I have great attention to detail when it comes to outside of me. But when it comes to me, and I know I need to do something, I'm looking at okay, I need to do it. And my mind is already at the finish line. Basically, I'm already at the finish line. Like, okay, I got to get this, get this. I started the end. I started at Z, and then trying to get back to A, which is good if but for me it's not as good. So, but yeah, breaking that, at least being able to see what it is that they want to do, um, and allow them to do that, and not just. I think with kids too, a lot of times we try to live through our children and make them do
Hmm.
things that, oh, well, I didn't get to do this, so I want them to be able to do it. But how do you know they even want to do? And I understand they, because I'm all about exposure. I feel like, I like exposure. I like to see if I'm a like it, or,
Hmm.
how it feels to me. So I'm an exposure person. And I feel like that's, you know, a great thing for children to be exposed to things. But it's a difference between exposure and then just kind of like, you gonna do this because
Right.
I said you're gonna do it. But yeah, that's another story. So how young do you see, like, work with children? What are the ages?
So I normally try to get them when they start hitting the preteens. So around 10 when they hit them double digits, because that's when life starts changing for them.
Oh yeah.
So I usually around 10. Um, and I do parents, I do work with you as well. Now there's some things that, if I feel like you have to know, we'll sit down and have a group discussion about it.
Hmm.
But sometimes they talk to other people better than they talk to their parents.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you're able to get more information, and you're able to help tailor, what it is that they're looking for in life. And it actually helps make them a better adult. See, teachable and coachable children become teachable and coachable adults,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because people who
So,
don't want to be told that, they got a place for you. Um, and I learned that the hard way. But being hard headed,
right.
just so, I mean, it is what it is. I thank God for all my experiences. But yeah, coachable. If you start out at a younger age, yeah, it does make for a better adult situation, or a better adult.
Definitely.
But is
Definitely.
there like anything that you want to just leave with the people? Anybody, interested in, I mean, connecting with you, or anybody who may be thinking about even entering into this industry?
I mean, yeah, it's I first say if you have the ability or if you have the passion to willingly help without asking for anything in return, if you have the passion and the ability to listen and interpret and see beyond,
Hmm.
look into it. It may not be for everybody. I didn't think it was for me, to be honest with you. I had a mutual friend say, "Have you ever heard about life coaching?" I was just like, "I don't even know what you're talking about." And she was just like, "We talked." She said, "And everything that you tell me, it comes." She said, "It happens, it comes. It's
Hmm.
like you speak it into existence." She was like, "You might want to look into that." I looked into it. I researched a lot of different programs. I researched a lot of different schools that offered it. Um, I got my certification. So I'm actually a Master Certified Life Harmony Coach. I have my NLP practitioner certification. And I also am certified in emotional intelligence as well.
Yeah,
I know that sounds a lot, but I
yeah,
wanted
that's
to educate
possible.
myself enough to be able to help.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to get a piece of paper and say, "Oh, I'm a life coach." No, I wanted to be able to learn and get in depth to what really a life coach really was.
yeah. Well, let me ask you this: what's an NLP? Because I don't know.
It's neuro linguistics practitioner.
Oh,
So
thank.
there's a lot of
Is
people
it?
say it's like hypnosis, but it's not.
Mm,
You're reprogramming your mind. You're reprogramming your body to
mm,
focus on specific situations. There's instances when I first went through the class, I had anxiety really bad.
mm-hmm.
And so going through the class, we did this process called a switch modality. And with that modality, I was able, when I start feeling anxious, I just touch my thumb at my knuckle and it helps relieve my anxiety.
Wow. But I don't know. I've been seeing this thing about tapping. Is that the same or kind of similar to that, or is that
There's
something different?
tapping is different. It's all in the same family, but tapping is different. So there's different processes that everyone uses. Um, it just depends on what the person's looking for.
Right. But I
So
mean, but what you do, that the neuro, which has to do with the brain and how everything shoots off and fires off and all that. I mean, but that's a great thing to actually um have, because you're coaching people mainly because of the mind, the
right.
things that's going on in the mind. So yeah, you can have the certificate, but I think it's just added value to know how the brain works, and for you to have that understanding of how it works, and how to articulate it to people, and also how to show them how to make changes with it. And emotional intelligence, that is definitely something that something that is needed. I mean, especially now, because everything is so impersonal.
Hmm.
Everything is so impersonal. If I could go to everybody's location and do this, then I would do that. But it just, I can't. And it just makes better for me, to be able to do this, and that way we kind of arrange things around people's time. But I mean, things are just so impersonal now. Everything is just automated, or in I call it in the internet, with
Hmm.
everything. So I think everybody could benefit definitely from emotional intelligence. Because even kids now, they're so caught up on this stuff. I mean, it affects them whether we realize it or not.
Hmm.
So do you have, like, with your emotional intelligence? I mean, I don't want to be telling folks business, but is it Do you see the issue in mostly adults or children?
It hits heavier in adults, simply because, and I'm not throwing shade on our parents or grandparents and none of that, but it was just something that wasn't taught in the home.
Right.
Oh, you do this because I
Yeah.
told you to do it. You do this because that's what I said do. No, you don't. You stay out of grown folks' conversation. Certain things happen to us growing up that we were told to just shut up and don't talk about it.
Right.
And they didn't realize that that was hurting us.
Oh yes, definitely.
And a lot of times it actually hindered to make us identify who we really are as a human being, as what we want to be and who we want to be and how we want to pursue life. Because we carried all of this emotion in and didn't know how to deal with it, didn't know how to get it out. So, we turned to other things to try to heal ourselves because we couldn't
Right.
talk about it. So with the
Mhm.
emotional intelligence, it's really just getting in tune with who you are, in tune with your body.
Mhm.
Stop worrying about what others think about you. Stop worrying about because look, I had to learn this. Other people's opinion is none of my business, right?
Yeah.
Like what you think
Right.
about is really none of my business because that's how you feel. That's not how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get there because I was very self-conscious about how I looked, my weight, all of these things that people hung over my head. I was very self-conscious. No, I can't. Nope, we're not doing that. Nope, not
Right.
doing that. Nope.
Yeah.
And one day somebody said, get out of it. Get out of it, deal with it.
Yeah.
And I did. Now,
Yeah.
I went and got my Bible in one hand, my psychiatrist, my psychologist in another hand, and we worked, once I got to my self-healing part, I had that
Yeah.
circle around me to help me
What?
get there. Um,
Mhm.
but for the most part, I just need for individuals to understand you're not in this by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you need to talk to somebody, find somebody to talk to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
My contact information is going across the bottom of the screen. You can follow me on Facebook at Breakthrough with Empowerment LLC Life and Wellness Coaching. My email address is btempowermentlc@gmail.com. Phone number is 980-581-9352. I'm here. I'm here.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
hey, another resource for y'all. I mean, we need, all the help that we can get. We need all the help we can get, and everybody may not be your cup of tea, but somebody gonna be your cup of tea, and you can't use that as an excuse. Oh, I just don't like them, because at some point you're gonna have to deal with it. You can't just keep putting it off. So, and it may not be her, and it may not be somebody else, but they may know somebody who may be a better fit for you. That's the whole point of the consultation. And she gives you an hour, so y'all better take advantage of it. Y'all better take advantage of it, because most people don't get an hour for one. But you know, it's a great opportunity to get the help you need. Basically, at the bottom, end of the day, it's here for you. But Millie, I appreciate you joining today for sharing. I'm so grateful for you. I'm going to put you in the back for a second, and then we're going to close this thing out, and then I'll come back and we're going to chat some more. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Also, people, thank you again for joining us on What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. I hope this has been valuable for you. This is another awesome resource here for you, no matter where you are. So, I mean, our information is at the bottom. Take advantage of it. I bring people on here because we all need help with different things, in our lives. And we may not know where to go, or, how we can get the help we need. So it is my goal to bring on people that can help you in some way. And if they can't help you, maybe they can help somebody or maybe they know somebody who can help you. But either way, I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome, awesome rest of your week. I thank you again for joining us. If you're on Facebook, thank you. If you're on YouTube, thank you. Be sure to hit the like buttons, subscribe, all of that awesome stuff. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.